I don't know. You want to do the introduction? Or you want me to do the introduction?
We'll let Alice do it instead.
Okay. Go ahead, Alice. Take it away.
She's like, I just woke up, you jerks. We talked about just trying to get on here real quick and doing a live. I mentioned yesterday about maybe doing one last night, but the night got away from us, and so we thought we'd get on. We don't usually do them this time of day, but we got just a tiny chunk of time where it's quiet enough around here that we thought we would try to catch a different group maybe.
British Columbia, hello.
It's bright out here.
It's quite bright. It's decent lighting, though.
She's still waking up. Oh, so how are we doing today? She is getting really big.
Dylan, 8 months.
Look at her stretching.
She's going to be there so soon.
She's like, what? Yeah, it's pretty bright out here for her. She just woke up from her nap. I just kind of pulled her awake, actually. So
Nice. Florida, Arkansas, North Carolina, Texas.
I don't know if this is a super good time of day for enough people. We'll see.
We don't do it enough during this time.
Yeah.
Oh, Russia, UK.
The first question I saw is, what does Richard do for a living? Richard and I work together on my blog and the online stuff we do. We just kind of tag team the family, and he takes most of the pictures for my blog of the kids and I doing stuff, and editing, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and so we have fun working together on all that. And then it means we get to be home together as a family most of the time, so it's great. Oh, Romania, Colorado,
California, Germany.
There's so many places
New York.
I've never been that I would love to go see.
Montana, Atlanta, Oakland, Utah.
Someone said I'm due with my first.
Brazil.
Oh, London. Cool.
Yes. What's your number one newborn tip?
Oh. Don't believe what you read in the books. You
have to specify.
I just mean that all the newborn baby books just conflict with each other, and they set this expectation that that just encourages you to feel like you're inadequate, and that your baby somehow has some sort of problem if they don't meet up to, what they say the baby should be doing in the book. And it just, when I was a mom, I was so worried when I was a first-time mom that I was just doing a bad job, and I didn't trust myself enough, and I wish now that I hadn't been so worried about having my baby line up with everything that the book said, and just trust myself more. Trust yourself more.
Every child is different. Every parent is different.
Yeah.
Everything changes from day to day, and a book is a really good guide.
Yeah, the guidelines
It's good if you're reading. Great. Yeah, it's good if you're reading. It'll help you be more prepared for things that you didn't expect, but don't feel like it's a blueprint, because you definitely need to.
And maybe you don't at all, but that's my number one thing, I think, is just. I wish that I had been able to relax a little more. Say hi, sweetheart. What's going on?
Okay, sorry, she was too cute not to flip it around. Erica, shoot, I already forgot the question. Is faith important to you? Erica, faith is very important to us. It's also very personal to us, so we tend not to talk in specifics about faith, but we really admire anyone who has a strong faith that they hold to. Mm-hmm. It's definitely important to us.
Mackenzie Thomas, I remember growing up in the same wards as you and Martin when you were newlyweds. Oh, I'm curious too. I don't recognize your name. Journey's been inspiring. Thank you so much for commenting. I'm really curious now to see.
I'd love to know more specifics. You should message us sometime and share a little bit more.
I'd love to say hi. Thank you for your comment. And thanks for following along. That's awesome.
Hidden Diamond Company. How did you get started with your blog being your business? What was the first paid thing you ever did?
Oh, it's embarrassing.
Good. All the better. What's up?
Let's see. Well, The first paid thing I did, that's different, I guess. The first like sponsored thing I ever did was for like a bikini waxing company when I've never done bikini waxing. I was just excited to get, some free product, and they sent like some lotion, and it was a long time ago, but they just wanted to help like with their search engine optimization, and so they just wanted me to include some keywords, and I was excited about the opportunity to get some free stuff and to be sponsored, and the first that's kind of my first one. I didn't realize when I started my blog, and not till like a year into it, that you could make money as a blogger, influencer, and that.
Stop patting her on the back. It's shaking my arm too much. Sorry.
I didn't realize that I could, and I should just change the subject, but yeah, it took a little while to realize.
You over time, you got started with the blog as a business. Was it because people were sending you requests to work with them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted people to read it.
It was consistency for a long time in my eyes. Like you wrote for a long time before you even published it, which was really cool. But the man hours is really...
It was just a journal. We didn't need the money, and so I certainly didn't start it as a moneymaker thing. It was just a journal, and I was just hoping to connect with other moms. And it was kind of a postpartum depression-driven thing initially, and so it just started out as a fun hobby, and then it when I realized that I could make a little bit of money while doing something that I loved and enjoyed, and I was excited about it. And then it's grown since then, and now it's how we make our living. So we feel really lucky.
Heather asks, how does it feel to have a baby in the home? Well, Alice is a little more helpless than Evie was right when we got married, so it's definitely a cuter thing because she's so dependent on everybody, but it's really not too much different from then. But it's cute to be able to hold a bottle again because it's been a year at least since we fed anyone that way.
For me, it's awesome to have older kids and have a baby, because when Evie was born, Ellie was like 4 or 5. I think she was newly 5, and so she was kind of too little to really help out much and really have much interest in the baby. And but now they love so much to participate, and they ask to hold her, and they want to help pick out her clothes and give her baths and feed her milk and stuff like that. So it's great to have them want to participate, and be able to see them love her is really special.
I'm skipping a few comments. I'm really sorry, guys. These are wonderful questions and stuff.
I'm taking too long to answer.
We're already really behind, so I'm going to skip ahead. Katie said she has to keep reminding herself that every child is different. It's what was the comment? That in his own time, everything will happen. And that's something that we're constantly reminding ourselves of.
She's really looking this way. Here we go.
Even with the kids as they get older, Lydia's different than John, and John's different than Ellie, and it's just a new adventure every day because they're all so different. How are the big kids doing with the new baby in the house?
I kind of just answered that. They love to participate as much as they can. They're very fun. Gentle and respectful of her space, and
it's fun to sit next to them and kind of coach them when they're trying to figure out how to hold her the best way. And
she's still like trying to squint at the bright. It's really not that bright out here, but again, I think she just woke up not long ago. So, what does your shirt say, Richard?
It says Ohana, meaning family. It was a thing from many years ago. I just I can't give up the shirt. It's more of a yard work shirt nowadays because it's too old to be good for anything else.
Annie said, my dad and stepmom are trying to have a baby. I can't wait for him or her to be born yet, even though my stepmom isn't even pregnant yet. Yeah, there's just something special about babies that really bring a special spirit to the house and a connection with the family, and They're just such sweet little fluffy, chubby souls, and she's great to have, and I'm excited for you too whenever that happens.
Lid Joy says, what's the color in your living room?
It is a greige, they called it. It was like a gray beige, and it's called Agreeable Gray by Sherwin-Williams. I painted it all over our house because to me, in some light, it looks beige, in some lights it looks gray, and it was really beautiful when I picked it out. I was excited about it, and I am really glad that I did it.
All right, trying to
something
catch up.
Stuck in my eye. Can't get it.
I keep seeing dandelion seeds fly past us, and it's driving me crazy.
It.
I wish they were all dead. The yard's gonna be overrun.
Do you choose your children's names based on meaning? I don't, actually. I just hope that they all have good meanings. I've never really looked them up. The ones that I have usually have really strong, we chose really kind of classic, traditional names, grandma names. So they have pretty strong meanings most of the time.
Katie says, would you rather have a difficult first baby or babies after? I have an insanely easy first baby, and everyone says your next will be a little terror if you got this lucky with your first. Don't stress it.
No, I think if you had an easy baby first, then it will help train you to be relaxed and calm, and I think you'll have an easier time. Even if your next baby is harder, I think you'll feel more in control. I think if you have a first baby that's super hard, you'd be scared to have any more, first of all, and that you would be really like paranoid about stuff happening. And but everybody's different. But I think if you have a first baby, I don't think you have to worry about your next ones. I think if your first baby's good, I think it has a lot to do with your attitude as a mom too, and your approach to a lot of motherly things. And I think it'll be fine next time. Don't worry about that.
Kelly asks, do you maintain a relationship with your previous husband's family? Do they agree with you marrying again?
We actually live like within a stone's throw of his my late husband's siblings and his parents and his grandparents, and I'm actually a lot closer with them than with members of my own family, just because of the proximity. We get to see them a lot more, and our kids go to the same schools, and so all of the birthday parties are always just their cousins and the Myers family, and we've been able to be very close ever since I first got married, and we've maintained a really close relationship. So we're lucky that way.
Yeah, they've been kind and supportive in a lot of ways.
I think the marriage was hard for a lot of people. It was unexpected, but they've been nothing but gracious and loving, and we've been good. Everything's been great.
Gretch says, I've been wanting to tell you that your story has so impacted my life, and that I've changed the way I treat my family. I really like that comment.
That's huge, Gretchen. Thank you for sharing that.
I know that comments like that have a big impact on Emily, because it's exactly why she shares what she shares every day. And there's the fun stuff for sure that's mixed in there. And
I keep rocking her.
You're fine. We like to share as much as we can of the little simple things, but the meaningful things are very, very important to us, and it means a lot to hear that it's helping people shape their lives in a way that's positive for them. So thanks for sharing that, Gretch.
She looks like her dad. Oh, first time mom here. Have you had a difficult baby? My second, I would say, was my most difficult. She was smaller than the rest, and she was particularly fussy, and my oldest, Ellie, was only 1 when she was born, and she was just newly 1, and so having a 1-year-old and a new baby was difficult. But I just tried to take my time, and I almost hate to say it, but that was also my first brush with postpartum depression, was with my second baby, when things were difficult, because I was just suddenly found myself overwhelmed with the fact that I felt kind of lost in motherhood, and there wasn't a lot of it was hard enough at that point that I didn't see a lot of like return for all the effort and hard work. And, it's just an interesting pit you kind of fall down in as a new mom. And so the way that I coped with that was trying to make sure that I had other things that I enjoyed, that I felt accomplishment in. And I did sewing and other little hobbies. And so at the end of the day, even if I felt like a failure as a mom, and like, my kids were sad and I hadn't really felt that proud of my day, I guess I had happy sleeping babies to look at, and I had little hobbies that helped me feel a little bit fulfilled, and that helped me feel like I was more like a well-rounded person, and like I knew who I was, and like I hadn't really lost myself, and I started feeling more fulfillment as a mom because I felt stronger, and if that made any sense, I'm trying to kind of condense and answer quickly. I hope that kind of did.
I'll do condense on these next few.
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
I'm going to fire through them. Kelly, how do you guys find ways to how do you find time to spend on your relationship with one another in your busy lives? Your love is inspiring.
Thank you, Kelly.
The quick and easy answer is we spend time together after the kids go to bed, because that's about the only time of day that it's really, truly quiet in the house.
Also, we try to go on dates at least once a week if we can. We have babysitters.
It's been rough lately.
Yeah, it's not been happening very consistently, but we have babysitters that we use consistently. It's hard to find good ones sometimes, but once you find them, don't let them go, and try to go on dates. It's really worth it.
They're so squirmy.
She's really squirmy. Hi.
All the wiggles. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
She's such a good girl.
Okay. Have we ever thought about doing vlogs? Thought about it, discussed it. It's
a goal.
Really, it's a goal, but it's also really time consuming. So it's hard to really think about how we can add that with.
I love hearing that
all
they
that we're
would be
doing.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
That is motivation to just do it. And they are time consuming and hard to remember. I usually just go through the whole day and then I'm like, oh dang, I didn't take any pictures and I didn't video. So it's hard to remember, but if I know that they'll be enjoyed, it gives me more motivation to try and do it.
Okay, there was this one. Allie asks, do the older kids remember Martin well or understand what happened? My family is going through something similar and we love to learn from your journey. That is a tough question to answer, obviously, because we're not in their heads. But I think they have a pretty solid grasp of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Memories are something that we really actively try to promote, because the kids do have a hard time picking out specific memories and being able to share those with us. And so we like to talk about things that they do remember as much as possible so that they can hang on to them as long as possible. They're young enough
From what I can tell, the memories that they have are just the older couple kids, and they're really only from when he was sick. But they didn't see that as bad. Or they that's the dad that they remember, and they aren't sad about that. They don't think that they're missing out or anything like that. That's just how their dad was, and but then they can see pictures, and we tell them stories and memories and about happy times. And
something that Emily has shared over and over again with me is how much she appreciates the fact that the kids aren't afraid of anyone. They're not afraid of anything they see. Like, they will see somebody in the store that's in a wheelchair, or they'll see somebody who's got crutches, or they'll see somebody who's, disfigured in some way or something, and it's not weird to them at all, and they'll treat them like a normal person. And there's obviously the childhood curiosity of what's going on with this or that, and they'll ask questions openly, but they're not afraid of it, and that's been a really cool thing that Emily has shared over and over again with me, that she loves that they've become that way, just because there's nothing scary out there in the same way that it would be if they hadn't gone through something so difficult. Becky had a question. Let me find it again. Do you think we as parents have a secret favorite child with a lot of laughing face?
Mm-hmm. I think even if it's like subconscious, I think you just have a child that will will behave well for you. Or, I mean, as I'm thinking about it, I can't really think of one. I think it changes a lot. So right now I couldn't really tell you who, but I do think that, if you had to pick a child to go with you to the store or something, you have your child that connects with you a little bit better maybe than most, or at least at that point. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, because as a parent, you get to, you have to work hard on each child individually, and sometimes you just connect better with one, and that's okay.
I'm going to give a different answer. I think they're all my favorite in different ways.
There you go, that's good.
I think like each of them has strengths that play to different situations, and it makes it really special to have different scenarios where you appreciate each one better. I thought for sure I would play ball with John and stuff like that, and instead, Ellie is the one who kicks the soccer ball most consistently right now, and that'll change over time. He'll pick up a different hobby that we can do together. Sophie's the best frisbee thrower most of the time. When it comes to doing things around the house, each of them has chores that they like better than others. When we're spending time together one-on-one, depending on my mood, I might be in the mood for one kind of food, and one of them loves that and the other one doesn't. So it's a clear choice of who's going to go with me to a restaurant simply because I want a burger, and Sophie likes tacos, so I'm going to take somebody different. So there's different situations where you really appreciate each child differently. I think I skipped. No, I didn't skip. Okay. Sorry, I got lost in the comments there.
We have to kind of rush through.
Our grace-filled life and Kate is crazy both asked about my hand and working. Or both questions were related to work, but my hand's really, really good. And things are pretty much normal now. There's still a little bit of future work in that department, and the hand will get better and better. But overall, I'm basically back to normal and able to do things as I wish. So that's been really special. She's not squinting like she was earlier.
She's just looking around a little bit.
Average breastfeeding time from Katie.
I want to say it's been about 6 to 8 months on average. Some babies I wasn't able to go quite that long, and some babies I was able to go longer. It's been different circumstances. I like to go a long time, but all of them have weaned by at 10 months or earlier. They've just become so they're big babies, and they get really interested in food, and they get less interested in me, and so it's just worked out that way. And I've been glad I could at least feed them for that long, so I'm good. So I've been good with that. With my kiddos.
Summer says she was sharing with her husband about the story and about my contributions in the story, I guess. I don't want to read that the way it is written.
You're embarrassed.
You said, yes, how Richard is so understanding. That sounds funny for me to read out loud.
Just some really nice compliments for Richard.
I don't like to think of myself as one in a million. I think there's a lot of great men out there, and the world keeps spinning round because of great men that do things that need to be done, and the women in their lives are just as great, and the world's a good place, full of good people. I don't want to pretend like I'm anything special. So
I feel like the negativity in the world screams a lot louder than the positive things, and so it's easier sometimes to see the hard situations, or the families that are dealing with a lot of things, that are difficult, or the people on the internet that are, negative, and but there really is a lot of good when you look for it, and but no, the compliments are appreciated and warranted, so thank you.
Allie says, would you ever consider cutting your hair to shoulder length?
I consider it a lot, actually. I think the fact that my blog was kind of blossomed out of my hair tutorials. Not that you can't do a lot with, shoulder length hair too, but I think every time I think about it seriously, I'm too scared, and I have bad dreams of my hair being cut. And I love the idea of it. I've bought wigs in the past and sported them around just because I liked the idea of being able to feel like I had shorter hair. But I think
it's fun to watch her play with those.
Yeah, they're fun. But I think for the most part, I probably won't be cutting it short anytime soon.
We should do that more often, like to the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And you could wear your big sunglasses and a wig and hide.
Yeah, I like wearing wigs and messing around with them. It's fun to have short hair for a day, or black hair or something like that.
Thistle Blue says, do you feel that having children so close together sort of cheats the children of attention? I had too close an age and would never do it again.
It's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody, but I think that the kids being so close means that they're mistaken for twins all the time. They have consistent partners in crime. They're always playing with each other. They're always giving each other attention and loving each other. I do feel at times like I'd make an extra effort to single them out personally and try and do things one-on-one.
To separate them and make sure that they they know about their individual strengths and stuff.
Yeah. But I see what you're saying. I think that having the siblings be so close together means that they're all the more close. You
were pretty close in age with your siblings, weren't you?
We had.
And I was pretty close with mine, so maybe that's what we're used to.
True.
And maybe it just depends on what you're used to, kind of like what your expectations are for your family and your children. And like we said, of course, everybody has different preferences, but I've just seen benefits from it. Again, if we just make sure to split them up and give them individual attention and love, and make sure that they have their individual friends and their own things, that they're not sharing, stuff like that. That the way that they know that there's not like a batch mentality. But I have seen the benefits of them always having a playmate, and whenever they're on their own, it's really sad because they just want someone with them. And I do like the idea of them learning how to be on their own. But like John, for instance, when the girls are at preschool and the other girls are at school and he's on his own, he's just so lonely and he just begs to be played with. And I'm like, okay, John, just a minute. And we'll go out and play with them. And he just really wants... when they're on their own, they're really sad, I guess, because they're used to having someone. And
I find it really funny that my most inadequate moments are when they are one-on-one, like not one-on-one with us, but they're by themselves for one reason or another, or somebody's with a friend, or they're kind of by themselves, and they'll come to me and say, I want to do this thing, or I miss so-and-so who's out with their friends or whatnot. And it's so funny to me to feel inadequate in that moment and say, you'd rather have Ellie here than you want me. Like, I'm here, we can do stuff. And it's funny to have them prefer their siblings at times because of the mood they're in and the activity they want to do, Like, they love jumping on the trampoline with me, but a lot of times it's even more fun to do it with their siblings where they can play dodgeball and tackle each other and have somebody their own size. So, my 2 cents on that one. ASOS21, do you call Alice Allie? We haven't used that one yet.
But that's kind of cute. I like it. It'd be really close to Ellie, but still, I think that's a cute nickname. Hi, boo-boo.
Jules says, do you have advice for overcoming anxiety or depression? Do you believe in medication or meditation or Bible study? Praying for you all. Thanks for the prayers.
That's a really great question. I certainly do have a lot of thoughts on that, but probably not to share here. Yeah.
All the above.
But yes, I do believe in whatever is best for you. First of all, as an individual, but I do believe that I do love meditation and yoga and essential oils and all that. But I also take medication. I also believe that things. That anything that can help you feel more, like yourself and to be kind of in control of your emotions and your mental state is wonderful and individual. And I just support everybody in how they feel is best. But yes, I'm encouraging of anything that you think is best for you, I guess.
You've had multiple compliments on your shirt and how cute it is.
My shirt?
Babe.
What?
Brace yourself.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Whoa.
There are hundreds of comments, like we're so far behind and I didn't even...
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Try to... remarried widow, remarried 10 years. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's...
Kids were 11 and 14.
Wow, that's great. Did we have a boy name picked out? I don't think we talked about names until we already knew she was a boy. I mean, a girl. I don't think we really talked about it. I've liked, I don't know, I've liked different names in the past. I like choosing from family names. I always kind of liked the name Oliver. And then I had, but then I never had a boy to name Oliver. And then one of my best friends named her son Oliver, which I love, and she calls him Ollie, and it's really sweet. I like seeing that. I liked seeing that happen. That was fun because then we got to have an Oliver close by. Anyways, they want to see Alice more. Here we go.
Well, yeah, I'm cruising through the comments trying to catch up a little bit.
She doesn't want to sit back. She wants to lean forward.
Oh, man.
Comments.
There's so many people from all around the world. I love reading this. Thank you guys for sharing where you're from.
It looks short right now.
I mean,
and I do like the look of it short. I just think I like doing stuff with it too much, but I might eat my words in the next year or two. Maybe it'll be short. The girls love their hair getting braided and such, someone said. Do they? And I said, yes, they do. We have a little box that has hair ties and clips and hairspray and a brush, and I do their hair every single morning. And they ask for braids and twists and buns and stuff all day long. I usually end up doing their hair a couple times a day, in all honesty. There you go. Shoulder length hair tutorials on Richard. Oh, 2 years of following. Thank you so much. Oh, that is hard. Being pregnant and having a 17-month-old, that you're constantly exhausted. I think because I've been pretty sick with all my pregnancies, that when I had a baby that was 1 and 2, and then I was pregnant, we ended up doing a lot of horizontal activities. I ended up laying on the floor so much and just kind of like one-handed building with Legos, and we watched cartoons and little games and things that I could do laying on my side because I was so sick, and it's really hard. It's really difficult. You have to cook for them, and you have to clean, and everything just kind of I just had to relax a little bit, and you just have to be okay with, things not being up to par 100%. You have to take care of yourself first.
Somebody asked, sorry, I'm scrolling so fast I forget the name. How do you get you time? Do we get personal time? I struggle with that a lot, and over the next year or two, I'm going to be
make it. Yeah.
I'm going to be trying to figure out how to do that better, because right now my personal time is when I'm on the lawnmower listening to music. Well,
and your personal time also involves like a kid or two. Like you're like, yeah. I'm going to go off on a little camp out, and I'll take John with me, or Sophie, and so like it's still like it's quieter time, but it's not by himself. He's always usually involving the kids. And do I enjoy pregnancy? That I have a very big love-hate relationship with pregnancy. I think overall, definitely, of course, because I've had 6 now. Overall, the good outweighs the bad, but I've been very sick, and I've had enough issues with pregnancy that it's hard, and I kind of have to like take a deep breath going into it, because you don't ever really know what's going to happen wrong that didn't happen last time. And I've had some that I spent the entire pregnancy throwing up in the bathroom, sleeping on the floor, and not being able to keep anything down. And then there were some that I was relatively healthy and didn't really have much morning sickness. So it's kind of a mixed bag. And but I don't think it's easy for anybody, even if it's, even if they aren't sick. I mean, you're still not 100%. Your body is still kind of belongs to somebody else, what you eat and can't eat. And it's definitely a really selfless thing. And going into a parent relationship, with that kind of sacrifice is a really special, creates a really special bond, I think, too.
Jordan says her son's name is Fox.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome name.
Love that.
we thought about that very briefly. It was as much of a joke as anything else, but we thought about naming Alice Foxy. I thought that would be fun.
We went through a lot of names trying to find the right one. We played with a lot of fun things, and we would say, how about this one? No. Like, we would just really quickly go through one. You love the hair tutorials from Pinterest. You always go back and look at them. They are pretty dated. There's a lot of them that are just old and make me laugh. And
you went through them the other day.
Yeah, I was looking through some of them yesterday, and I need to put new ones out there. The last ones are really years old, and I really enjoy it and miss it.
Somebody. Let me find.
Someone asked sorry.
The children, since they like when you do stuff with their hair, maybe you could do children hair tutorials on what to do for your girls.
I've had that people ask about that,
yeah.
And yeah, I think that's a perfect idea. I wrote that down as something I would hope to do really soon. Also, somebody asked about ideas for getting back into shape after having a baby, and I'm writing that post too. I'm writing so many posts, but that one's coming really soon. Hi, honey.
Okay, that was a good one. Let me find it again. Twice. The Shy Rose and Benny's mom, similar question. Were you less sick when you were pregnant with John, or do you find being pregnant with girls is different than a boy?
No, I was less sick with John. He was my first baby where I was like, wait a second, like I should be a lot sicker, and I'm not. He was, Sophie was different enough from Ellie. I thought Sophie was a boy, but then I was convinced John was a boy because of how different it was. It was very different. And I was definitely not as sick as I had ever been. So that was nice. That was a relief. And I've heard that that's kind of common with boys versus girls. So good on you, boys.
All the ways we tease her.
Hello, honey. She's looking at my necklace.
She's looking all over. She's just looking at everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Greetings from Poland.
Yeah.
Are we caught up?
Yeah, we are.
I didn't find out the gender for Sophie, and I didn't like that. I vowed I would never do that again. Some people love the surprise, but it was really weird for me because, like I said, I thought she was different enough from Ellie's pregnancy that I thought she was a boy. And so in my mind, I just created this boy, and I had dreams about a boy, and I was like, this is a boy. And so much so that I even decorated the nursery with boy stuff because I was like, I know that this is, and my mother's intuition was way off because it was not a boy. And so when she came out, I just felt like she was a stranger, and I didn't really know who she was because I had a boy in my mind for so long. And so it took a little while to be like, wait a second, and to get to know her. And because I hadn't been talking to her, I had been talking to a little boy and stuff like that. So I didn't have a very good experience with it. That was my own fault for sure, but I didn't want to do that again. I like knowing and being able to kind of connect with them before they're born as whoever they are, as a boy or a girl.
Spoiled Rot Mom asks about the bracelet I'm wearing. Yeah, it's a hospital bracelet. I tend to wear any bracelet that I get from an activity with a fair or at the hospital for a long, long time. So you don't ever have to be alarmed if you see me wearing one, but it was an X-ray.
You are more sick with your boys than your girls.
Yeah, different for everybody, it sounds like.
Mm.
What do you put in your hospital bag?
I always do pack a hospital bag just in case. That's something I think it's pretty average stuff.
Which is?
Socks and snacks and changes of clothes for the baby and a robe and something to read and, stuff like that. I think I wanted to just be careful and be ready to go. I did have Ellie at the hospital. She was my first baby. She was born at the hospital, unmedicated, a very flawless birth, but I just wasn't, I didn't know how I was going to deliver, so I decided to do her in the hospital. Anyways, I can write about that too at some point, but I don't think it's anything super unique. Just like I said, it's regular stuff.
That's a good question. Kelly says, do you get jealous you have missed memories with the children or her life prior to being married, or were you guys friends before so you didn't miss much? I knew Emily well enough years ago that I could imagine the way things went with her and the kids, and she's described a lot for me.
You've seen a lot of photos and stories and stuff, but no, we hadn't seen each other in 10 years, and we weren't close enough to be friends and communicate, and while I was married, and so you weren't like a family friend that was involved in our lives and
no,
stuff. Not at all.
I feel very much like things frequently happen for a reason, and this was kind of, I don't know, it feels to me a lot of the time like the reason I was single for all those years was to be ready for something in the future, and at the time I didn't know what it was, but so I mean, I got to have experiences that Emily hasn't had, and I get to share with her things that I did during those times of my life. Mm-hmm. But no, I don't necessarily feel jealous. I'm really glad that Alice is here, because I'm getting to experience things in a different way. And because Alice is here with us, I'm really firsthand experiencing.
She is looking all over my shirt.
Family life in a very different way. But yeah, no, I think that's a great question. Thanks.
Yeah. Do
you stay on top of homework and after-school activities in school? How long before? Oh, yeah, we gotta wind up here.
We got someone coming over.
Yeah, they're gonna be here in a minute. We try to do the homework and after-school activities right off the bat, but it doesn't always work out that way. As they get older, I think we're going to be more consistent with that, because it's really great for them to have that routine. But I don't know. I always did my homework on the school bus on the way home, so that when I got home, I was already done with it.
I know that they do that a lot too.
Yeah, the kids do like to pull out their stuff on the bus and finish some of it.
Yeah, we try to do it really soon. They get home and we say, "Do you have homework?" And they say yes, and we're like, "All right, let's do it." So socks and snacks are key.
I like that.
That was one thing I was really glad to have. There's...
Bless you. Bless you.
Sneezes are the best. Why do you wear them a long time?
It's just a memory of the bracelets is what we're talking about. It's just a memory of something that was really recent and meaningful in some way. And the hospital bracelets just kind of because I don't have another bracelet to go there. But like whenever it's an event or a concert or a fair or something like that, I like to keep that memory, because every time I look down at my wrist, it's like, oh yeah, we got out and we did this fun thing. My arm's not long enough to get all three of us.
I can scoot in.
But that's why I like to do it, is because it just keeps a memory alive that much more. And eventually you got to take it off, or it just falls apart. But I really like to keep the memory of events like that longer than just the day that it happens. Plus, I like tan lines. I'm a volleyball player. I like being out in the sun and getting tan lines from different things.
Thank you guys for all the sweet comments you're leaving. Did you have any babies that needed to be in the NICU for even a short time? Not at all. No, I was lucky that way. All my babies were overdue, except for Sophie was a couple days early, and all of them were very big. My smallest was just over 9 pounds, and my biggest was 10 pounds 14 ounces. They were all big, and I think pretty healthy because of that. They were pretty hardy and good eat. I was able to have good eaters. I learned a lot about breastfeeding with Ellie. She was kind of my guinea pig child. We accomplished a lot together, and so when Sophie came along, I had nursing down pat really well, and I've done really well ever since. But no, they were all. Ellie was born unmedicated at the hospital, and there was no complications. And then all the rest were born at home. So Alice was our 5th baby born at home. Pretty successful one. Or you resort to a rubber band. AJ says, yep, she knows.
Yep, AJ knows that pretty well. I like that.
Dusty brains.
When my little sneezes, my husband says, ooh, dusty brains. That's funny. I like that a lot.
I love the little sneezes. They're so funny.
There was a good one back here.
Those were such cute sneezes, honey.
When Emily is missing Martin or when the kids are missing Martin, how do you feel? We don't necessarily discuss it in the moment, so Emily might be hearing this maybe for the first time, I don't know, but I usually feel really grateful because...
You don't discuss how you feel in the moment.
Right.
Because you do, if one of the kids says something, there is an immediate, wanting to encourage them to open up about it. And
right.
Yeah.
But I feel grateful. If Emily, I've told people this before, if Emily and I had gotten married when I was 20, we would not have this many kids. I would not have been strong enough at that point in life, at that point in my youth, to feel like I could handle having so many wonderful children. And thanks to Martin, I have them, and I wouldn't have been able to do that myself. And much of the life that I'm living now is thanks to this man that I never got to meet. So gratitude is a big part of it. When they're feeling sad or missing him, it's just a reminder of how much my life has changed and how wonderful that is because of somebody else and because of somebody else's choices. And that really has made a big difference. Those moments are special on their own because the kids do get to express themselves.
Look at that sour face. Oh.
You never burped after your last
She did.
bottle.
I picked her up and she
Okay.
burped right on me.
I missed it then.
No, yeah,
I must have been sitting down already.
Uh-huh.
Anything to add to that one, babe? Or a different thought?
No, you answered their question. That was great.
We're almost caught up again.
Because I do want to add, I guess, that because whenever the kids do talk about that, they bring it up immediately because they know that they're encouraged to express how they feel. So Ellie will just say, I really miss Daddy or something like that, and I will, there's a lot of encouragement for her to talk about how she feels and why and what she misses and what she remembers and things like that, that they just feel more and more comfortable to open up. And along with them not being, scared about people that are different or anything like that, they're really not scared of death either. And although they know the value of life and the people that we have here, they know that even though he's gone, that he's, to them, he's not, I don't know, he's not around. They know that, that he's not coming back. There was, I could go on for a while. There was a period where many of the kids thought he was coming back for a while. And that was kind of a hard thing for me to have to remind them a lot. But so I think most of them know that he can't come back, but they also don't feel like he's that far away, I guess. Ellie talks a lot about how she has two dads, and how she's lucky because she has a dad on earth to take care of her and a dad in heaven to watch over her. And they feel like he's close by enough that they're not scared and they're not super sad. Even Ellie will say, I wish that Dad could be here for Mother's Day, for instance, but I know that he's watching, and so it helps her to not feel so upset about it. And all the kids they don't feel they're not very scared of death, and I think, hi. And it's a rare thing for children, and it's pretty special, I feel like.
I might make this my last comment. You can wrap up in a different way if you want to. But I remember one conversation that we had where we had to kind of rewind because Ellie was almost picking on somebody for only having one dad.
Yeah.
Like early on.
She was like teasing somebody. Well, they were being mean to her.
They were being mean, and she turned it around on them and was like, well, I have 2 and you only have 1. And like, it was
So
kind
sucks
of,
to be you.
it was kind of rude about it almost. And it was funny to hear her handling, somebody who was kind of trying to bully, but she,
Which was great in our
said it-
mind because she didn't feel like she was the oddball out. She felt like she was the lucky one, and that was a big triumph in a way. We didn't want her to be
she was
mean about
seeing,
it, obviously.
she was seeing
but
the situation positively,
she
but we
saw
still,
it, as a benefit.
it was a good
instead of-
discussion point.
Yeah.
It was a good discussion point for all of us to kind of sit down and talk through it and make sense out of it for her sake, so that when it came up in future conversations, she could say it in a way that wouldn't offend people. But it was cute,
to hear her
have that perspective and have it be so positive, like Emily tries to share with the kids and with everybody. It was really fun.
Do we see one more?
One more?
I just want to say thanks for all the nice things you guys have said. We don't really address, we try to focus on the questions, but there are many comments that are just very sweet and supportive. So thank you guys so much. That means a whole lot. And we've missed you guys. This has been a really big group here this time of the afternoon. So we'll try to do more of these.
This has been good. We don't always have time during this time of the day, but today worked out really well. So we'll try and come back.
So thank you guys for joining and for your awesome questions. And we'll close off now. But someone says, Paulina says, how old are you?
That's a good question.
I'm 27.
I'm not.
He's
I'm just
not.
kidding. I'm 31. Right? Got to double check
All right.
nowadays.
Thank you guys so much.
We'll talk
and
again
we'll
soon. Big
go off.
hugs.
Yeah.
Thanks for everything you said, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.